Manchester United is in meltdown mode. Ugarte loses it on the pitch, pouting face, Hojlund's future in doubt, counterclockwise arrows button, and Roy Keane is fuming again. Plus, Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants an F1 engineer to fix the transfer mess. Let's dive into the chaos at Old Trafford. Manuel Ugarte involved in angry exchange during Manchester United defeat. Newcastle United ran out 4-1 winners against Man Utd at St James Park on Sunday afternoon. Hojlund perfectly embodied Newcastle United's tenacity in their resounding victory over Manchester United at St James Park. When interim manager Jason Tindall decided to substitute the midfielder to prevent a potential ban, he was assisted off the pitch by Bruno Guimaraes amidst the escalating tension of this fiery Premier League match. However, as Hojlund exited the field, he didn't hold back his feelings towards South American adversary Manuel Ugarte. The two engaged in a heated exchange as Hojlund was replaced, with the £40 million player gesturing towards the tunnel and inviting Ugarte to meet him there post-match. Fortunately for Newcastle, Hojlund managed to avoid the yellow card that would have resulted in a 2-match suspension. He now faces the challenge of navigating the midweek fixture against Crystal Palace without earning a ban. Ruben Amorim, meanwhile, accused his United players of collapsing in the second half of Sunday's defeat. Amorim's men dropped to 14th in the table as their goal difference is now -7 and worse than 13th placed Everton's. Yeah, when we suffer the second goal in the beginning of the second half, we went down and we need to be better in these moments, Amorim said. We need to control it. They are already a really good team, but the mistakes we made during the game helped the team to win confidence and win the game. We need to accept that, the lowest points tally, and to move forward and try to do things so much better in the future so we don't have this kind of season. And then you can see some goals. They were doing high pressure and we lose the possession in some moments and some spaces that we cannot lose the possession. So we need to improve in a lot of things, and our position is a reflection of our performances this season. New Rasmus Højlund Man United transfer exit route emerges as Ryan Cherki update given. The latest Manchester United transfer news and opinion, as there has been a lot of talk over potential comings and goings in the summer transfer window. Full focus for Manchester United is now back on the Europa League quarter-final second leg against Lyon following the Premier League clash defeat at Newcastle. Lyon visit Old Trafford on Thursday night with the score from the first leg at 2-2. United's Premier League position means that concentration is on success in Europe, which offers a return to the Champions League. If they do achieve their goal of winning the Europa League, then it would be a big boost in the upcoming transfer window. It's expected to be a busy summer for United and Ruben Amorim, with several ins and outs expected before the new season. It's no surprise, then, that there is a lot of talk over potential comings and goings. Here's a look at some of the latest stories. Rasmus Højlund exit route. Manchester United striker Rasmus Højlund is on the radar of Italian giants Juventus, with there continuing to be uncertainty over his future. The forward is one of the players to be linked with an exit from Old Trafford in the summer transfer window. It comes with United being linked with a striker transfer of their own, with Ipswich's Liam Delap the most heavily tipped in recent days. Amid the links to Delap, the Express now report that Højlund is on the radar of Juventus as they look for their own overhaul in the summer window. Men says there's no doubt that Højlund has struggled for United this season, and if they can bring another striker in, then it would be best for all for him to be sold in the summer window. With Delap having a £30 million release clause in his contract, if United can get a decent fee for Højlund, then it would be a good piece of business. Ryan Cherki update. United are said to be leading the chase for Lyon forward Ryan Cherki ahead of the summer transfer window, according to the Mirror. The 21-year-old scored Lyon's stoppage-time equalizing goal against United in the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final. He will be looking to repeat the feat when he plays for Lyon at Old Trafford on Thursday. The report adds that the forward will cost £20 million. United are said to have an advantage due to the player being shown around Carrington when he was a young player. Men Sports says Thursday will give United the perfect chance to take a closer look at the player, and if last week is anything to go by, then he could be a bargain at just £20 million. United will be hoping that they can make use of the transfer advantage and push through a move. United sent hands-off warning. United have been sent a warning by Como manager Cesc Fabregas over their reported interest in winger Assane Diasso. United have been recently linked with a potential move for the 19-year-old in the summer transfer window, but Fabregas has sent a clear message. Winning Formula Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants Mercedes F1 engineer to improve Man Utd's transfer strategy after slamming club's data analysis. Sir Jim Ratcliffe could lean on his Formula One connections to try and bring Manchester United back into pole position. Ratcliffe, who has owned a minority share in Man United since December 2023, is reportedly considering hiring a Mercedes F1 engineer to help revolutionize the Red Devils' data analysis. According to the BBC, Ratcliffe could appoint Mercedes engineer Mikel Sansoni at Old Trafford as he looks to bring the club's use of data up to par with the clubs around them. That's after the billionaire Brit told Man United fanzine United We Stand that the club was still in the last century of data analysis and that it doesn't really exist here in a recent interview. Ratcliffe's Ineos are part owners of the Mercedes F1 team, which would reportedly make any move to bring Sansoni to United much smoother. While it's understood that Sansoni is already set to call an end to his near 11-year stint with the F1 team, Ratcliffe has claimed that Man Utd's data analysis directly correlates to their poor recruitment over recent seasons. He told United We Stand, "Until we're as good as anyone in the world, then it's not good enough for Manchester United. We must have the best recruitment in the world. Data analysis comes alongside recruitment. It doesn't really exist here. We're still in the last century on data analysis here. There's an immense amount of useful data that we can get from data analysis, and we're in the very poor bracket with data analysis here. These things don't happen overnight. United have spent over £900 million on transfers over the last 5 seasons, a figure only exceeded by Chelsea, Arsenal, and neighbours Manchester City. All 3 of those clubs are currently battling out for European places, while United languish in 14th spot in the Premier League table, having won just 10 of their 32 league games this season. Huge transfer sums have been invested in players that have been unable to succeed at the theatre of dreams in recent season. The £85 million arrival of Antony has resulted in the Brazilian heading out on loan, while Jadon Sancho also left the club for Chelsea this season after his £73 million move from Dortmund didn't go to plan. Meanwhile, £47 million goalkeeper Andre Onana, the 4th most expensive keeper in history, was dropped from the United matchday squad altogether this weekend. The Cameroon shot-stopper was left out of Man Utd's 4-1 thrashing at the hands of Newcastle on Sunday after making 2 huge mistakes during the club's 2-2 Europa League draw with Lyon last Thursday. Roy Keane's brutal Man United rant in full after Newcastle loss. They're not good at anything. Roy Keane a lot to say about Manchester United after their thrashing by Newcastle in the Premier League on Sunday, with the ex-captain slamming Ruben Amorim, Bruno Fernandes and more. Roy Keane has never been one to pull his punches, especially when talking about Manchester United, but his rant after their defeat at Newcastle on Sunday was quite something, even for him. United were demolished 4-1 at St James Park as Alejandro Garnacho's first-half goal ended up forgotten amid the gloom. Sandro Tonali blasted Newcastle into the lead early on, but it was Harvey Barnes' fine brace and Bruno Guimaraes' goal which underlined just how poor United are this season. Their 14th league defeat of the season left them in 14th place in the Premier League and increasingly reliant on their progression in the Europa League. There was some calamitous defending from Ruben Amorim's side, with Nasser Mazraoui robbed by Barnes for his second goal and stand-in goalkeeper Altay Bayender chipped a terrible pass to Joelinton to set up Guimaraes. Former United captain Keane was on punditry duty for Sky Sports and was typically furious in the studio, taking aim at Amorim, Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, Diogo Dalot and more in an astonishing rant. Here Mirror Football has condensed his words to the best. Physically and mentally weak. That's 14 league games they've lost now. We keep making excuses for this team. There are not enough players who can run in the team. I don't think there are players who want to run. Not enough of a goal threat. You've got to dig deep, even when you're up against it, and they didn't do that in the second half. We spoke at halftime about the big test was to come in the second half. Looking at Newcastle, they're outstanding. They're used to winning big games now. They've got into a really good habit. United are the opposite. I think United now are physically and mentally a weak team. Newcastle were too fast, too powerful, more determined. The pace they had up front, United couldn't deal with their attacking players and they got what they deserved. Well done Newcastle, they were outstanding, but United, this talk before the game about there are good signs, they're getting better, well I can't see it and I just saw another poor performance, particularly in the second half, and I worry for this group of players. To me they don't look like a strong group mentally. Fernandes is full of sound bites. To be fair to Bruno Fernandes, he fronts up and obviously the club push him out because he's the best player and the captain. Of course it's important what he says, but to me it's just sound bites now. He was talking about his teammates and belief, but what about his right back, Diogo Dalot, who didn't put a leg out to tackle? I hope he is pulling him in the dressing room because he keeps talking about having belief in his teammates, but real good.